What is going down, everyone? It's time for Mojobreak.com, The Hype, episode 386. We got Paige Becker's talk. We've got some Travis Hunter signing an exclusive contract. We'll talk about that. We got Ovechkin scoring goals out there, being the next great one. Also, we got $20 off any $100 or more purchase for you guys at Mojobreak.com. Lots of new releases this week. We've got Immaculate Basketball. We've got more UFC royalty on deck. We also have Tops 3 basketball as well. You can use promo code 20OFF, 20OFF, to get $20 off any purchase of $100 or more, and that's one per customer. So go ahead and get that. Get your spots ready for this week. Big new release week here at Mojobreak.com as well as Fanatics Live. Guys, isn't it? You got the best team in baseball here in San Francisco. Isn't that great?
Do. Yeah. Best team in baseball. Feels good.
Baseball time.
Feels right.
Baseball time. My fantasy team is the worst team in baseball.
Yeah. Is it?
You're in that league.
Yeah, I think I
have you logged in?
Yeah. I've actually changed my lineup so far.
Check your lineup.
Yeah,
I think I'm in 5th.
You might want to check the lineup.
I think I'm in 5th.
Yeah, I had a.
So far, so good. I'm still checking my lineup.
I always take that exchange. If I'm like, well, bad fantasy year, but my favorite team is good, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm in 5th.
Maybe not everybody feels that way, though. You're like, nah, I want to win my money. Give me my money.
Usually you can't run and get lucky with your team winning and your fantasy. It's like, for me, it's like it doesn't happen.
It never happens concurrently. Absolutely not. Unless you're one of those people who's like, I'm always going to pick like 3 or 4 of my guys from my team. Then that
actually is why I'm terrible. I have no Giants players.
Yeah, we should have got more Giants.
I should have went all Giants.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I have any Giants
I
players
got Logan
either.
Webb on my team, so I feel good.
Yeah, I should have got
good.
Should have got Ramos.
Yeah, I know. Ramos, Wilmer Flores.
Oh, I just picked up Casey Mize today, and he got the win.
There you go. These are the names of the best team. Again, the best team.
Casey Mize was available?
Yeah.
He's available.
Yeah, he's not great. He was a good name coming out.
He was a big name coming out. I mean, he could be a nice little rebound candidate this year. Tarek Skubal was kind of maybe he's the next
still
guy.
Tigers?
Still with the Tigers.
Still with the Tigers. They beat the Yankees today.
Yeah, Spencer Torkelson starting to look good again. Like maybe it's finally the year.
Not on the docket, Cody, but since you're the resident baseball expert here,
sure.
Who's been the most surprising player so far in this early MLB season, especially for guys to look around with a hobby?
Dylan Cruz.
Well, the lack of Dylan Cruz.
What did he do?
I don't think he has a hit yet, right?
He has not been performing well.
He did. Yeah. At one point, I think he went the first week or 10 days of the season, he did not have a hit.
I have to get the name right, but there's a guy on the Angels right now, Paris.
Joe Adele.
Kyron Paris?
Kyron Paris.
Joe Adele.
Look, he was not on my radar. He was on nobody's radar, but he had a great spring. And,
I remember him from Bowman.
I do too.
Kyron Paris is having a fantastic start to the season for an Angels team that is off to a decent start. It's early. It's very, very early.
Are we going to get a rematch? Angels World Series?
Giants. So Kyron
minus
Paris.
the rally monkey?
Yep.
Kyron Paris, second rounder, and is having a phenomenal start to the season. He's only 23. I actually thought he was like older. I didn't know much about him. I do kind of remember hearing that name in Bowman, but I guess that would be the guy. If you've got Kyron Paris in the PC right now, batting .444 with a 1,400 OPS so far. He's got 2 home runs.
I see a gold logo fractor. Got 55 minutes left. It's at $120.
So people are starting to
there.
catch on. They're saying "Je t'aime Paris" right now to Kyron Paris. That's the one guy. Other than that, I literally just said it. A guy that was off to a.
Is that Ohtani guy still pretty good?
Otani's still pretty good. The Dodgers are still pretty good.
Okay, Dodgers.
Those
still
guys
good.
are
It's kind of
doing
boring to
all
watch.
right.
You know? It's just not exciting when you just know you're gonna probably win most of the time.
But it is crazy. I watch the highlights every day, and then I just see like, God, Kyron Paris again.
What's the
stuff.
Ohtani bobblehead going for on eBay?
Oh God, I even checked.
Not as much as the gold Matt Chapman.
That's a very, very good question. I don't know what it is.
Because I think they said originally, I think it was the first 40,000 at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it, and then they changed it, and everybody's gonna get one. But
That's right.
But they still had like the limited edition version, which it looks like all franchises are doing now.
Yeah,
they're
that's what
doing.
Chapman did too.
That's a new thing.
But
Yeah,
the Giants only did
just it.
15,000,
Now-
and people were pissed.
Now,
I
is
know.
it
People were pissed.
random between the whole run, or is
Yes.
it for the first people who get
No,
it?
it's random.
No, it's
and I
just
guess he even drew on some of them and
Oh
signed
yeah,
some
so
of them
Chapman.
too.
So they did 1,000 for the Matt Chapman bobblehead that they just did this weekend. 15,000 given away. 1,000 of them were gold for his Gold Glove, and then 5 of them he drew a mustache on and signed. So there are 5 people with signed Matt Chapman bobbleheads on top of everything.
That's pretty cool. It's like an element of our industry
Yeah.
involved in the SGAs there.
I like
only,
it.
Only 15,000 given away, huh?
They
That's
used
like-
to
people
do
were
20.
pissed.
I mean, what was it before? 20? Half
And
the
Dodger
stadium.
and Dodger Stadium
Well,
is
Dodger-
40,000.
Yeah, they are.
and then they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, everybody."
every night they go to sleep on a bed of money. Like, yeah, they just
Well, and they didn't
have
want,
so
you know,
much
you know, Dodger
money.
fans. You didn't
So
want
do the
another
Giants, frankly.
You didn't want another Brian Stowe situation over a bobblehead, you know. So you got to make sure that everybody gets one.
Get the
you know.
bobbleheads.
There still were
not
people
worth it.
who were there at 5:00 in the morning for a 5 p.m. start
It's crazy.
in line.
But everyone's getting a bobblehead. So what are we doing?
Traffic, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That traffic.
You better you better
They
get
know
there.
that-
better get there early.
That parking lot where they also happen to play baseball. You know.
But yeah, that
also
would have been
not
nice
a-
for the Giants fans to have 40,000 Matt Chapman bobbleheads.
Yeah.
But,
And
we
I'll
don't got that money.
throw out one other guy. He's not a surprise, but like Jackson Merrill, I think is like maybe going to become like a top 5 player sooner than we had thought. We're also going to talk a little bit about Jackson Merrill because he had
I
some,
know some of his auto.
he had some
stuff, right?
interesting things to say.
best player on the Padres?
Is Jackson Merrill currently the best player on the Padres?
Has he taken over Tatis?
I say yes.
Ooh.
I say yes.
It's too early still.
Tatis is really, really good. I think Tatis is actually
Tatis
at
has
the point.
been-
I think we're actually at the point where Tatis is underrated.
Tatis has done some cheating. So we got to
I
put
say
that
Jackson
into
Merrill.
the equation as well.
Yeah, Jackson Merrill.
Jackson Merrill cheats on his auto, but we'll find out about that a little bit
Yeah,
later.
we're going to talk about it.
But yeah, we got This Week in the Hobby also this week. Dropping this week, we have another episode of The Break Room with Cody and MJ Melendez.
So
from
we'll
the
actually
Royals.
have that one. That one should be next week. I
Pretend
believe,
like
so.
it's next week. then.
Pretend like it's next week, but we'll have a new audio one for
We're
everybody.
gonna
if
let
you
it. It's
guys
like
agree.
we're gonna let it age. It's like a fine wine. It's
but
gonna get a little bit better.
We can't
in
give you a
week.
preview. MJ was awesome. He's super, super into this stuff, and he just was like, "Do you want to see my collection? I got everything right here." I was like, "Yeah, let's see it." And very impressive collection of basketball, and his one-of-one collection of his own stuff was tremendous. Really, really cool.
That's sick.
If you were a player, would you
like
collect your own cards?
Yeah.
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 I mean,
So to give everyone a little preview, he
I
did,
probably would, too.
He said basically it was that World Baseball Classic card that everybody was chasing, or that one of one, and he put it out there. Hey, I'd really like this card, and then that kind of prompted fans to be like, I got a one of one of you. You want it? And it just kind of was like the floodgates open.
it also I think depends on how much my cards are going for.
Yeah.
If I'm a top tier, I don't know. But if I'm a bargain,
Yeah. Giannis has got a lot of his best cards. Doesn't he have like a ton of his one of ones?
That's what the rumor is,
Yeah.
that he's kept a few, or they make special ones for him.
Yeah.
So, but we were gonna have an interview with Cooper Flagg, but since they lost, we canceled it. So it's not coming up. But we do have MJ Melendez coming up. No, I'm just kidding. No Cooper Flagg for us. But do you think this hurts his hobby value from that game?
No.
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 I think it hurts the Bowman Chrome University product that's out right now. I think that
That's about
I
it.
think that took a little bit of a hit because that, could you imagine? I mean, if he won the title, like the national title, that product would have just skyrocketed.
I think it takes
It still went up.
Yeah. I think it takes a very, very small hit. And I think in a week or two, it's back to it. We get over it.
Did I read that right? That his McDonald's All-American Superfractor sold for $88,000.
$88,000 for the Superfractor.
That's insane.
Did you think you'd live in a time where the McDonald's All-American cards were going to be getting close to 100K, like right out the gate? It's pretty nuts.
I don't know.
You can't
what
even have
time
a
I live in
conversation.
anymore.
It's-
I have
it's
no.
a
I
weird
have no
time.
idea. I don't. I
That's
don't know what's
that's a
going
weird
on.
you can't even have a conversation. Say you're at some high you're having a high school reunion or something. You're like, hey, I just bought this card for $88,000, and they're like, oh, you got a nice Michael Jordan? You're like, no, Cooper Flag. And they're like, who?
Who's that?
Yeah, who's Cooper Flag? I mean, most people,
Yeah.
a lot of people know who he is.
So a lot of
but
sports folks know who he is. But you're right. Not the average fan still doesn't quite know who Cooper Flag is. No.
not yet.
Not quite yet, but I don't really think it does too much to hurt him. I mean, he's a bounce away from this team being in the finals. He still had a tremendous rookie year or freshman year. I did see some Duke fans being like, "You got to run it back. You got to come back. You got to do it one more."
No. If he's the
number
consensus number one pick,
go get your money.
Now, what team in the NBA has the worst record right now?
Right now,
and I know they don't do it exactly
They have
like
better
that.
chances.
Who's going to have the best
Is it
odds?
Charlotte?
I think it's either
Is it
New
Washington?
Orleans or Washington. It's going to be New Orleans or Washington
Ooh,
that are
team
going to
up
have
with
a
Zion,
chance.
huh?
Yeah, team up. Cooper Flag and Zion could be happening. Right now, the Washington Wizards, actually the Utah Jazz, excuse me, I know. Utah is one game worse than Washington.
What happened to Utah?
I don't know.
They lost.
They haven't been good in a while, but I didn't think they were going to bottom out.
See, but
hard.
Now,
what
do we
is
feel
best for
about that?
hobby? Yeah.
Hey, how do we feel about Cooper Flag going to the Utah Jazz?
No Utah prospects ever paid off in the last.
Between
Even
these
when Donovan
teams,
Mitchell was there, like his cards were extremely undervalued.
You know what? And I'd hate to see the rich getting richer right now, but you know
Don't say
what?
the Spurs, dude.
I mean, looking at the possible teams, the Spurs are kind of.
But how about Charlotte, though?
I guess
LaMelo.
Charlotte to me.
LaMelo.
You're right.
And then you
LaMelo.
put Cooper Flag, LaMelo, Cooper
But
Flag. That sounds exciting.
We just said nobody sells on Utah, but you know what? Charlotte is the most. No offense, but they're just like everybody loves.
Well,
those
nobody sells on Washington either.
That's true. Everybody
Jordan
loves
Poole's
those
still over
starter
there?
jackets.
Jordan Poole's still there.
Yeah, he's still there. Everybody loves those 90s starter jackets from Charlotte, but that's their only contribution to society.
And Grandmama.
And Grandmama. That's it. Sorry, Charlotte fans.
Maybe
It's-
Del Curry.
Well,
if you want.
how about-
Sure.
well, I mean, without-
and then
without-
by proxy, get
Without
Steph
Del
Curry.
Curry, no Steph
Right.
Curry.
Sure. Fine. I
Or
will
Seth-
give
or
you
Seth
that.
Curry.
We will give you that. But, and you know what? And technically, that's the Charlotte Bobcats. So, they just redid them. So, Philly's there. I need to look at like who also has picks because everybody trades picks and all that. But yeah, honestly, Spurs.
Spurs probably and then you got Stephon Castle doing well.
Imagine you got Stephon Castle, you got Wemby, a healthy Wemby, you got Cooper Flag, and you got De'Aaron Fox.
You
there.
got Chris Paul.
Feels pretty good. You'd be feeling pretty
C-Rad just pulled that Nebula over the weekend too.
Crazy.
Stephon Castle 101 Nebula.
crazy.
I don't think it happens.
Yeah.
think-
Brooklyn maybe. Get him in New York. I know Brooklyn is not quite this. Maybe Brooklyn.
Brooklyn would be better than Washington.
It'd be kind of cool to be like the number one
Didn't-
guys in New York right now. It's kind of
Didn't Washington
big.
just have a top pick in this last draft?
Yes, Alex Sarr.
Yeah.
I mean, look, all these teams are not that interesting. I mean, you get Philadelphia.
Philly would be good.
Philly is, you know what? I take it that might be the one. That might be the team where I think if collectors, if the hobby had their pick,
Out of that crop of teams,
Let's just say
I
this-
would say Philly.
let's look at here's the top 10 that could be there. Miami, depending on if
Because they
make the
still
play-in.
have Maxey, right?
They've got. I mean, they
They
have Embiid.
they have Embiid.
Well,
they have,
let's see.
they
He's
have
going
the
under surgery.
they have the pieces.
Portland, San Antonio, Toronto, Philly, Brooklyn, New Orleans, Charlotte, Washington, Utah. Philly, San Antonio, and Brooklyn kind of are the ones that
Philly has Paul George too.
they do. Who knows how long that lasts? That feels like it was a failed experiment.
I think for the hobby, Philly is the best landing spot
for Cooper. Yeah.
for Cooper Flag. I think second best would be the Spurs because they would just be building an absolute powerhouse there at that point.
Philly is where he has the best chance of
I think the
because
word
that's a team that just everything that could go wrong went wrong this year. But then if you look at them next year with potentially Cooper Flag and you go, well, they got I don't know how long Embiid's going to be on the shelf, but if fully healthy, Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, Cooper Flag, you go, well, that's a team.
I think the worst spot would be Utah. Second worst would be Washington. And the reason why I say that is because Utah's in the West.
Yes.
It's going to be tough to climb up in the West.
Long time to get
In the East, Washington with Cooper Flag, and they get a couple pieces around him. They could be a playoff team in his rookie season.
Yeah.
And we're seeing some crazy pricing. So we know Bowman Chrome U just released last Friday, 24.25 Bowman Chrome U. I've seen some blue shimmer autos to 35, $6 grand. Another one sold for 7,800. I don't know if these are best offers, so it could be less than that. There was a final exam Tudor auto, which is an SSP case hit, sold for $2,000. So
can you imagine
a base $1,700 on a base?
Can you imagine though what those would be doing if he was in the national title game?
Which is tonight, right?
Which is
tonight. Well,
no, Tuesday.
Last night, if you saw it. Well, no, it's
tonight.
It would be Monday night.
Did they play? This is weird. Did they play both games in San Antonio for the Final Four?
Yeah, they do it back to back.
They do back to back.
Yeah,
I wasn't tripping. I was like, that is the
women's
same.
one, right?
No,
the men's.
They both Final Fours do it that way. Yeah.
But they go back to back games the same day.
Yeah.
So they get everybody out of the stadium and then everybody back into the stadium?
That's why they do it at a football stadium, usually. Because you buy one ticket for both games.
Okay.
So it's a full day of basketball.
Okay. Because I was like, how are they getting everybody out of here and then back in?
Oh, yeah. No, they ain't.
Okay.
So Jeff Wilson had courtside seats for both.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, they weren't quite. I saw they weren't quite courtside, but
you can't ever be courtside there because they have that elevated court. Because again, they're playing on a football field, basically.
Well, that seems dangerous.
It seems.
Can a player just like
it is kind
go
of nuts
flying off of that?
I'm sure there are examples, but it's kind of crazy. There hasn't ever been a catastrophic injury from that. I mean, it's not like 10 feet off the ground, but it's enough.
It's high enough.
It's high enough.
Yeah, and then I actually got a chance to watch the UConn women's game with Paige Beckers, and some of her prices are insane, too. There was a Sapphire from 2324 Bowman Chrome U that sold for Superfractor Selections, $15,500 that just recently sold. That team's insane. Sarah Strong had a great game, and then there's another girl who's probably going to still remain there, AZ Fudd, who was just just crazy moves. They had, they called them their big three, and they were dominant.
Sarah Strong was the biggest. Yeah, she was the biggest recruit for them. I think she led them in scoring right. So, yeah, that's UConn back on top.
Yeah, and Sarah Strong's in 24-25 Chrome and U,
right.
Bowman Chrome U as well. Paige Beckers is not. Paige Beckers, I believe, is a Panini exclusive now. So we'll see her in the.
Who is that? Sarah Fudd?
AZ Fudd.
AZ Fudd.
AZZY Fudd.
Elmer's niece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
She had a pretty devastating injury. She was out for a year, but she was incredible to watch as well.
Nice. Yeah, that's going to be it's another big class. She's projected to be the Dallas will have the '1 pick, I believe.
Where do the Valkyries go?
I think they're going to be top 5 minutes. I think they're third.
Would
maybe?
they have '1 pick? Though?
2 or 3? No, I think no. Theirs is a little different. So I think they are going to have. They're going to be the third pick, from what I gather. I have to double check it, but they will not be. It seems like they should have the '1 pick.
I know they had their expansion draft, of course.
Expansion draft. They got some free agents, but it still feels like that should be '1. But I guess it was in the NFL too when the Texans.
It was like that in the.
No, because the Texans had David Carr first overall, wasn't he?
Was he #1?
He was #1.
He wasn't. Okay, then they got the #1.
But
I guess it's different.
Go way back for when the Sharks were the #1.
They didn't have #1. They had
or
two.
their first year they had the second pick overall.
Yeah.
So maybe it still is a lottery system.
So
I'm sure one of our listeners would know.
I want to say the first pick overall that year was Eric Lindros.
From the first year of the Sharks?
First year of the Sharks, and the Sharks went Pat Falone.
Nice.
Not quite Eric Lindros.
Not quite, but
we wound up getting Thornton and Marlowe later. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the Texans had the #1 pick that year. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. So the NFL's the only place that did it. Carolina got Julius Peppers #2, so I think.
What about the Browns?
when they had to redo it. Yeah,
because they came back as technically an expansion team, right?
Well, whoever they got didn't matter.
Didn't matter in the long run.
Montario Hardesty.
What is
Braylon Edwards. Yeah.
was it 2000 that they came back as an expansion technically?
Is it that long ago?
Yeah,
Been around for 25 years.
This version of the Cleveland Browns, I think, have been around for maybe it was sooner. I feel like they were gone for only like a year. Yeah, it must have been that because they had the number one pick in back-to-back years because they had Tim Couch one year,
Nailed it.
and then they went with Courtney Brown the next year.
Perfect.
Yeah. And now
two Hall of Famers.
and obviously 5 Super Bowls later, here we are.
Yeah.
So
They went first. They went 5 Super Bowls in a row. First team to ever do it.
yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Tim Couch.
Tim
and-
Couch,
and who was the other guy?
Courtney Brown,
Courtney Brown.
Is that an offensive lineman?
defensive end.
Defensive end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really good. I think. Actually, I think he was pretty good. Tim Couch.
I actually think Courtney Brown did all right.
I think he was pretty good. Tim Couch also very good.
Also, hey, look, to this day, one of like 3 guys who has led the Browns to the playoffs
Yeah.
in the last 30 years.
Some would say
The
on
best
the
year.
Mount Rushmore
Oh boy,
of Browns quarterbacks.
Wow, is Tim Couch on the Mount? Okay, I don't know.
Him and
This is gonna
Johnny.
get-
I think.
It's
Well,
gonna be insane.
Bernie Kosar.
Yes,
Bernie Kosar.
yes.
Uh,
Baker has to be.
Derek Anderson. I think.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, he had a Pro Bowl
He had a
year.
Pro Bowl year.
He had a pro. I don't know if he had a Pro
Johnny
Bowl year,
Manziel?
but he's close.
Seneca Wallace.
Oh boy.
Hey, he's good.
Was Derek Anderson? You're right. No, Derek Anderson, Pro Bowler in 2007. Yeah, Derek Anderson's got to be there. Baker has to be there.
I'll take this as seriously.
Yeah.
He's on the Cardinals.
Boy,
So yeah, that's
that's quite. And then Tim Couch.
it's a hell of a Mount Rushmore.
He's there.
I think
hell
if you
of
look
a
at the
Mount
Browns Mount Rushmore, it's just Jim Brown 4 times. I think that's it.
basically.
That's all you
Joe
got.
Thomas.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
Just Jim Brown.
it's I mean, it's Jim Brown. How about Jim Brown 3 times?
Yeah, but
No,
just like
no,
4
no, no, no,
different
no. But
phases
you
of
got
them.
to. You can't go that far. Actually, you can't even use Bernie Kosar because you have to do.
You have to do
the expansion era.
Ugh, well then, yeah.
So Joe Thomas definitely on
yeah,
there.
definitely on there.
Might be on there 4 times.
Yeah, might
Yeah.
be Joe Thomas.
It's Joe Thomas 4 times.
no, Miles
Oh
Garrett.
no, it's Peyton Hillis.
Miles
too.
Garrett.
Peyton Hillis.
Peyton
Peyton
Hillis.
The Madden.
The Madden cover
guy.
athlete.
Cover.
You better believe it.
Well, it
And-
looks like
and Tim Couch.
PSA announced some news today, guys, recently, and I don't know, maybe we caused it. We had a PSA event this weekend, and we had like over 1,000 individuals submit cards, multiple
event.
cards. It was a great event. We had a 2-day event here in the store. Look out for more of that PSA drop-off event. But they've announced they've increased turnaround times. Value and value bulk and TCG submissions go from 45 to 65 days. Dual service authentication goes from 55 to 75. News comes after the company announced the international submissions have been paused in response to tariff increases. Well, shouldn't
Shouldn't
that
that
be like,
speed up the
yeah,
time?
shouldn't that speed
Yeah,
up the
well,
time?
it's funny because didn't we say
Explain this to me. I don't understand.
we said that boy, if they're gonna pause international submissions, then shouldn't it be that we should get our cards a little quicker?
100%.
And the opposite is happening,
I don't understand.
and I don't either.
I don't get it.
I guess we would like an explanation. Why is it happening? Well, it's in these 20 days extra in both cases, basically a month extra in both cases. I don't know.
PSA is almost becoming
Are they
like,
are they eliminating staff?
I have no
they had a lot
idea.
of staff here, and they actually had a show going on at the same time somewhere else, too. They were
Yeah.
doing
Yeah,
another.
and they were actually on their way to I think Cards HQ.
Yeah.
To do an event
There
there.
you go.
2-day event there. So, yeah, the guys did a great job. When they come out to the shop, too, they have, like, security watching doors and stuff. It was a pretty well-run operation. So,
Oh yeah, it's
thanks
good.
for them to
'Cause
come
sometimes
coming
we have
out.
to supply the security, and then we have to bring Shane out, and he has to wear a security shirt.
Yeah.
it doesn't really.
Very intimidating. Yeah.
Very intimidating.
I will be honest. When I first saw the articles, I guess I read through it, and yet my brain still said, "Oh, quicker turnaround times," because it just made sense in my head that okay, well, if that's going to be happening with you're not taking international submissions, cards are going to come out quicker, right? It just stands to reason, and
That is not what the story says.
that's not what it was.
Yeah, I know.
It's
That's-
slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just assumed, and you know what? You know what they say about that? Makes an ass out of you and me. So should do it.
Yeah, I mean, PSA is approaching that territory because it's such a leader in the industry as far as percentage-wise that, like, now there's just hate. There's just a lot of hate happening on social media.
We also had some pretty crazy cards come in.
Yeah.
We saw some photos. A Jordan rookie
There was some great
came in.
stuff.
There was a Nolan Ryan rookie. And then there was a bunch of Pokemon stuff
first
that
edition,
probably
a lot of first edition.
probably
a lot of Pokemon.
a lot of Pokemon.
There was
a lot
some
of flying lizards.
There was some interesting stuff. There was like a Fortnite one that I thought was interesting. Some people were like, "Wow, that's crazy." It was signed, I guess, by a very prominent gamer in Fortnite it was a ticket to a major event.
I saw that. I did
And
not.
apparently
I
a
didn't
lot-
understand what it was, but I saw it.
That's one where I'm like, look, I don't know it, but I respect it. Like, that seems like everyone was really excited about that one. That seemed very, very unique. Now I'm looking at our post.
Well, there's also like a World Cup. Is it a World Cup ticket stub or?
I think so. Yeah, there was like a World Cup thing in one.
Somebody submitted a Montana, too.
Someone-
yeah, that's
yep,
right, a Montana.
There was first
pray for
edition
a nine.
Charizards. There was some, yeah.
Is that bad to say? It probably is because it probably won't affect our card too
Not
much.
too
right?
much. Not too much.
You just don't want the pop to go up, right? You know?
See a couple of the rookie cards in screw downs, and I was like, oh, I hope
The
everything turns out all right.
I think the Nolan Ryan was in a.
It was in a
It
screw
was like,
down.
it was like
And
an-
they had- we had to go
it-
get a screwdriver.
It was in an inch.
Did it come out okay, or did it?
Hope so.
Oh boy, I hope so.
I think those things are fireproof too, though.
I think they're weapons.
Yeah, they're.
If somebody breaks in your house, you grab
cool,
that thing, man.
Bring them back. Bring them back.
Bring back the screw down.
Bring back the screw down.
We're all about nostalgia in the hobby. Might as well, right?
Why not?
But we got some high-end releases for basketball this week. We have 23-24. You can see there with the Wembanyama picture. Basketball, three basketball. 3 cards, 3.
Three.
So it's got some inserts, got some autos, some auto patches. We'll see how that does. And, of course, Immaculate Basketball, which is also 23-24. So you've got Wembanyama, Chase Logo Mans and Logo Man autos, not of Wembanyama, but Logo Man autos of other players as well. So be sure to check that out on Mojobreak.com and use that code that we mentioned at the beginning of the show. Giants closer Brian Wilson is 2 World Series rings and signed glove that he wore in the 2010 World Series sold for $216,000.
The ring did. The first
Jeez.
ring. The first ring. So I threw this in because we're Giants fans here, and of course we're for the best team
doesn't
there.
that sound like a lot?
It's a lot for the ring.
I wouldn't have thought it would have been that much.
I think
I would have said
there's-
like 40 grand.
yeah.
Because those rings, like,
The second ring, which he was less a part of that team, sold for something like 25, 30.
that much of a jump.
That
from
much
the,
of a yeah. I think though
Well, the
there-
2010 because we hadn't won. That was
Right.
first in San Francisco.
I
right?
think there
I get
is a
that,
little
and
bit
he-
of a distinction that it is the first in San Francisco history.
And Brian Wilson was
And-
pretty interesting.
And Brian
he
Wilson
did,
was a
he
big
did-
part of it.
He did get the last out.
He did get the last out. The glove is from the last out of the game when he struck out Nelson Cruz.
And Buster
Well,
Hug
the
did.
glove is
Buster, yeah.
separate though.
The glove is separate.
You're not getting the glove and the ring.
No. Those were all 3 separate things. I think the glove sold for. I have to double check the article, but I think it's sold for something close to about $30K as well. So,
Now that feels like a good deal.
yeah, for the fine, and it's signed by him, and it says inscribed "Final Out 2010 World Series."
Buster Hug.
Buster Hug. It was me. Fear the beard.
And then we've got some news out of Jackson Merrill. What did he say?
Okay, so this has been an ongoing mystery and ongoing curiosity in the hobby. Jackson Merrill
Merrill's autos.
seems like he's got at least 12 different autographs. He's got a lot of them,
He's got a real lazy one. Too.
and he got real lazy with it. And someone at the Athletic noticed this. Went, well, I gotta ask him what's going on with the autographs. And then basically, here's the quote. Quote, it's not that I don't care about cards and stuff. It's just like, that's not my thing. If you didn't have an interest in something, you wouldn't want to do it either. It's funny that he says, it's not that I don't care about it. I just don't care about it.
But
Yeah.
That's essentially what he's
But he gets
saying.
paid
But
to
he,
do
but
it.
he liked the check that he liked the check he was cashing.
I think he even said something like, "Yeah, I understand. I'll look through the exact quote, but he basically said to that effect, yes, I know I'm getting paid, but It just gets real monotonous and boring. And
I mean, he said what many of players before him were thinking.
It's funny how you're right. There used to be a time where it was like a lot of players felt this way and maybe didn't vocalize it. But now you have so many players who are into this stuff, who actually like it. I think I just saw today one of the Cubs pitchers, Justin Steele, was showing off, I got a 1-of-1, the Stars and Stripes, Justin Herbert. He was super pumped about it. Like, that almost feels more like the norm than this now, which it does show where things have gone.
I mean, sometimes I don't like to wear pants, but I have to wear pants to show up to work, right? I mean, you just can't shortchange people like that. You know what I mean? You got to be able to make sure that somebody that's going to get your autograph knows that you put your full potential into that because they're a fan of yours.
But there's been a little bit of Jackson Merrill. Wasn't there a mistake, like an error card where they used the wrong photo?
So maybe
as well?
he's holding that against
There
him.
is also his first Bowman is not him.
Yeah,
It's Travis Fryman, which is also why we didn't get autos, because I think he got the cards and went, that's not me.
He's all, I'm not signing this.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's more of a deep-seated, like, you guys don't even know who I was.
So
Why should I sign for you now?
Yeah, you've always screwed me up. So, why do I care now that...
I'm not going to sign these. You could even put the right photo of me on it.
Yeah. Here's some more from him. Well, when you're signing a box...
attention to detail, there's a lot of players that would be like, what? I'm signing them.
Yeah. He also said, when you're signing a box of 3,000 cards from Topps, you don't want to sit there and have a long autograph. In the beginning, I was just doing a J. Then it evolved a little bit. I kind of just wanted to change it on certain things, like certain more important items, which I think a lot of people that we have noticed that his 1-of-1s seem to be a little nicer. The autographs seem to be a little nicer. Like 1-of-1 stuff. I was feeling nice one day. Maybe I do a couple more time-intensive autographs. That's funny.
He's like writing. He's literally writing it out. He's like, I'm really tired of signing this autograph now.
And
Put it on the card, too.
there was also a story he refuted that I didn't know about this one. A story that in 2023, the claim was that he tossed out a box of cards after leaving an apartment complex while playing for the Padres AAA team in San Antonio, which I guess just goes to this guy really doesn't like cards. Did you hear he threw out a bunch of his cards?
But maybe those were cards.
Maybe they were
the cards with the other player on
that
them.
must be the theory.
what it is.
That's got to be the theory. Is that's why we didn't get autos of him in the first Bowman, and it took a while. So he refused
what
it,
do you?
though.
What do you want him to do with those? Like, I guess he can go give them to a clubhouse, a clubhouse guy, and be like, "Can you send these back?"
Well, remember the Magic Johnson fiasco with Travis Swaggerty or Jordan Swaggerty?
Jordan Swaggerty.
There was I forget. I think he went to I think Swaggerty was on the Cyclones, so Magic Johnson signed the Cyclone patch cards. Obviously, knowing he didn't play for the Cyclones, but he signed it anyway.
Because that's a man who he's a professional.
They paid me for it. I got to do what I got to do my job.
He's a pro. That's right. He did refute that story, by the way. So, believe what you will. But yeah, not an upcoming guest on the break room. That's really the announcement.
I was also going to be like
Jackson Merrill.
Probably not an upcoming Topps Transcendent Party guest either.
I mean, for the right price.
He's all, I'm not signing anything.
He just got paid, so good for him. He just got a big extension.
Him and Vlad, huh?
Good Lord.
Vlad got $500 million.
$500 million, 14 years.
14 years.
Objectively,
how old is Vladimir Guerrero?
26?
40.
27?
40 years old. He'll be 40 years old. He'll be 40 years old.
He'll be 40 at the end of it. Yeah.
He'll be 40 years old cashing them checks.
Blue Jay for life.
26. The right move by the Blue Jays, honestly. They were doing all this weird, let's get Anthony Santander. Let's get these guys.
Move?
Yes. It's
Are you
right
saying
move.
$500 million is the right move?
To keep the best player at his position, a guy who's been consistently
DH?
an all-star? He's the first baseman.
Oh, whatever. He probably DHs sometimes.
Eventually, he'll be a DH. Don't get me
What
wrong.
position does Jackson Merrill play?
Center field.
Center field. So he might get heckled when he comes to San Francisco.
Oh, for sure.
There's that guy that does the heckling now. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you
that
don't
player-
sign your cards right.
I think that guy's
Jackson,
been out there for a while.
can you give me one of your 12 autographs, please?
Or hey, Travis Fryman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What are
Okay.
you doing?
Fryman.
What I want
Fryman.
is
I said
a
Travis Jackson. I did
book
myself.
card of Jackson Merrill
with all of
with
the
all 12 different
That'd be
autographs
sick.
on it.
That'd be sick.
That would be my ultimate PC card.
The Grail.
The Grail.
You know what? He should do that. That would be fun. That would be a fun thing for him to do.
I challenge him to remember all 12 of them.
Yeah.
Well, and we had some other news, and the small guys get a little bit of a win here. Travis Hunter signs exclusive deal with Panini. So Panini putting their, fighting back a little bit, fighting back the giants of Fanatics and getting little Travis Hunter to sign for Panini.
They have the license this year. This is their last year having the football license. I have a feeling that we're probably going to get some information about some other players in that draft that have signed exclusively with Topps.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Cam Ward will probably be a Topps exclusive. I think Panini knew this, so they're like, we need to go out and make sure that we get one of the top.
Well, last
3
year they
picks.
had Penix and McCarthy, right? So they signed a few last year. 'Cause
Yeah.
they weren't signing for Topps.
But this is the world we live in, and this is the world we're going to live in going forward.
The thing that I was finding a little confusing is not just on we put up a post on social media about it. What do you guys think of this? Other people have as well, but the amount of comments that were like, can't win. Now we're not going to get officially licensed Travis Hunter stuff. Like, no. The exact opposite is true. Now we are getting officially licensed Travis Hunter stuff.
Yeah.
So, and I know we're like kind of conditioned to be like, exclusive. This is bad because now I'm not getting stuff with logos. And like, that might be true in 2 years, but not to say like, it will suck that there's going to be like Travis Hunter stuff without logos in 2 years. But if the exchanges, we get Travis Hunter stuff, rookie stuff with logos.
Did
and
it say
autos,
how
I'll
long the
take it.
deal? How long the deal was?
There was not.
So it could be only a 1-year deal anyway.
And it was also, Panini seemed to be pretty specific about saying it's a trading card exclusive deal. So could Fanatics potentially still get around this?
With the jerseys that
Right.
emanate
With
or
the under wraps
something.
and emanate. Potentially. Yeah, they might.
But I doubt it's longer than a 1 year because Panini knows why would they sign him when they don't have the license.
Right. This is their big move here to keep this extending past.
Then Fanatics Collect shot back at him. They're like, hey, they're trying to make fun of the situation, which I thought was ironic because I haven't ever heard Panini say anything about publicly about like the guys over the years like Caleb and Bo Nix and things like that.
I thought that was pretty rich. Yeah, I showed that to you, that post the Fanatics Collect put up of a lot of comments that were like, that literally said, in 2 years, we're not going to be able to get officially licensed Travis Hunter stuff. Or, I only collect QBs anyway. No big deal. It's like,
I got a real question
come
about
on.
Travis
Like,
Hunter,
you
though.
guys have got everybody the last few years.
Travis Hunter, I think he is, in the NFL, I think he's best suited to be a defensive back.
Probably,
and not
yeah.
a wide receiver. So let's look. How many defensive backs have carried products throughout the years?
Right. None.
None.
Maybe
Deion.
Woodson. Maybe Woodson.
Charles Woodson, Deion Sanders. Those are probably
They
the
didn't
two
carry
DBs
the products, but they
that,
had
no.
a good career.
Yeah, and they.
I mean,
they
we
probably
just
still
saw
do fine.
Sauce Gardner was a rookie photo shoot guy, and I mean he was a nice hit, but like people weren't going out and buying products to chase him specifically.
Right.
The appeal of Travis Hunter is that he is a receiver and a DB, and maybe they do something maybe similar to like the Ohtani rookie years, where they're like, we're gonna have one version of his card, as a wide receiver, and one version where he's like in a defensive position, so you could have that sort of chase. That might be fun.
Could there be a world where he lives in where he is a starting DB, but maybe if they run like a 4-receiver set offense?
Not in the NFL.
And he comes and
though.
plays
I think
every
it's
once in a
I think
while.
it's so. I think there might be packages where he can be out there, but like those are going to be gadget plays. They're going to be like few and far between. There's nobody in today's NFL that can go out there and play Iron Man football.
So we're sure he's not going to get drafted to a team that needs a receiver and puts him as a receiver?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think he's a mystery right now. I don't know what team is going to do with him. What team is also going to be?
If you watched any of his games, like he is, at least what I saw, he is a better defensive back
And
than
I think
he
most
is
people agree.
receiver.
I think most people agree with that.
And I don't think he's a good enough receiver to play in the NFL. I think he's a phenomenal athlete, and I think he's definitely a good enough DB to play in the NFL. Just don't think he's a good enough receiver to play in the NFL.
PFF has him going third to the Giants after a trade.
Which now, though, there's even some rumors of maybe the Giants are going to go Shedeur Sanders there. No, who knows? Now it seems like Cam Ward is probably the number one.
They have Russell Wilson and
I know
and
Jameis.
And Jameis.
Get Shedeur. Just make it real crowded in that QB room.
I don't even see where they're having Shedeur fall to 21st with the Steelers.
Yeah.
So,
which is probably more likely.
They're having the Raiders get Genty.
Aaron Rodgers signed, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is not.
God.
He's going to the Niners. Niners are trading Brock Purdy for
Brock to the Steelers.
Hey, the Niners could get Shedeur Sanders.
I mean, maybe. Sure, why not? Why not?
Well, that would be confusing.
It would be.
But then you got to assume that Brock Purdy is getting traded.
Well, unless he's going to learn under Brock. Well, no, you can't do that yet.
Aaron Rodgers and Shedeur Sanders.
There you go.
We'll see. But yeah, so
when is the draft? Draft is later this month, right?
End of the month. Last weekend of April, usually. It's in Green Bay.
It's actually the week we go to the Tufts conference. It's the same week.
Oh.
Thursday, Friday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, but we're back though.
No, we're going during it.
Yeah.
Technically, like day 2, we'll be there. It'll be done because we don't go till Sunday. I think the draft is
it'll
Thursday,
be.
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah,
it'll be done.
Yeah.
I'll just say this: let's get some Deion Sanders, Travis Hunter stuff. I would love to see that.
Yeah,
Well,
cool.
you know they're gonna.
Let's get a little bit of that going.
You know you're gonna get Shedeur and Shiloh, right?
Right.
You know that you're gonna get dual autos of those.
When's Shiloh getting drafted? Is he even predicted to be in the
third round?
Something like that. Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of that.
Second round, third round.
And Deion's not. He doesn't have an exclusive with anybody, right? I don't think so. So
Not that I know
why
of.
not get him to sign in both? Get him to sign with his sons. Get him to sign with Travis. Let's do it all. It's gonna be a big season to collect Deion Sanders.
Dude, what was his alter ego that he had? Sandcastle.
Oh, Leon Sandcastle.
Leon
There you
Sandcastle.
go. Let's get some autos.
He had that score-looking rookie.
Let's get some in. And I even say, I think didn't we talk about on a previous episode what should be the next retrofractors? I'd love to see a Deion Yankee or a Braves retrofractor. Would be pretty cool.
And then to end off the show, Ovechkin, all-time goals leader, and I think he did it on the same amount of games, right?
Pretty close. Same year, same amount of years, 20 years. Pretty close to. I think they're about the same age.
The games were
Identical.
I want to say they were
That's
identical.
crazy.
Yeah. So he had one more goal, but the same amount of
crazy.
games.
But
You
I
can't
think-
be like, Gretzky played less games.
But I
It's
think
the same.
Gretzky also had like 2,000 more assists or something insane like that.
That's the thing is it's why there's
like
look,
Gretzky wasn't even a goal scorer. Like he has more assists than anybody ever as
right.
well.
It is insane when you do look and you're like, wow, I can't believe somebody actually broke this record. First of all, it is insane, and congratulations to him. Like he's the greatest goal scorer of all time. You look at the career numbers. You know what it is for Ovechkin? Because I was trying to figure out, like, it feels like it really snuck up on everyone. Like in the last couple of years, you're like, hey, Ovechkin kind of has a shot at doing this. You're like, what? I mean, I know he's been an amazing player. He's a Hall of Famer, but like all time?
Yeah.
It feels like what fans must have felt like when Hank Aaron broke the all-time home run record. When it was like, because he's never had a season where it was like 60, 65, and he was never like the leader every
Which is
single
consistent,
year.
30, 40. Yeah.
Right. It was 30, 40, maybe a 50 here and there. But like, that's what you look at with Alex Ovechkin's career. It is just consistent greatness the whole time. I think I put in there, he's never had a season where he's only had one season under 30 goals, and that was the year he got hurt. And then I think even then he's had like 5 or 6, 7 years where he scored over 50. He's led 9 times. Like just a consistent, like all-time great scorer, obviously. And now he's got the record.
And to his draft mate in the same year, Sidney Crosby has 622. So 622, and Ovechkin has 895.
Yeah. I believe Crosby is still the current active points leader right now.
1,682 points, yeah. And Ovechkin has 1,619 because
Yeah.
He's more of an assist
More
guy.
assists and a couple more cups for Sydney.
So when it's all said and done, 20 years from now, would you rather have, and let's just go over pricing, because right now the young guns are soaring for Ovechkin. They're around, for a PSA 10, we're looking at like, they're 6,400 here, but I'm seeing them around 5,500 to 6,500, which is insane, because about 5 years ago I bought some for about 1,500, 2,000. And you're looking at Sidney Crosby's around 3,200, so about half the price. 20 years from now, who would you rather have? Sidney Crosby or Alex Ovechkin?
That's
Probably.
hard.
I'd probably go Crosby.
I think I would too, but at the same time, I think I might go Ovechkin just because he owns that record, and that is one of, like, there are those records where you're like, it's, all-time home run king, all-time goal scorer, like, where it's a very hollow number.
I think Crosby being Canadian
There's that too.
is what does it.
Yeah.
But as far as like collectability,
Yeah.
I gotta go Crosby.
And maybe, and you know what? I keep going to baseball as a comparison, but I think there is a lot of parallels here. I think it's kind of the argument of Hank Aaron or Willie Mays, where it's like Hank's got the record, but the all-around game was Willie Mays, and he was the bigger star, and I think you can look at even their cards, and Willie probably has some bigger cards. Maybe it's pretty close now.
How many cups for Crosby?
I believe
Two?
It's two,
And
Ovechkin
he has a gold medal,
And
too.
And a gold medal.
Ovechkin has one.
And Ovechkin has the one.
So I'm sorry, they weren't in the same draft.
But they were close.
2004, first overall for Ovechkin. 2005, first overall for Crosby.
Yeah, they're going to be forever tied together as the two rivals, as the two iconic players of those generations.
It's funny because I feel like Crosby's a lot younger than Ovechkin.
It does feel that way, but they're
Like
about the same age.
Like Crosby still feels like he's 25 years old.
I know. Still feels like the kid.
He is
Yeah.
37, so he is, 2 years younger?
Yeah. Still feels like Sid the kid. Yeah, you know what? I said Ovechkin, but then the more I was thinking about it, I feel like I've talked myself into it's Crosby. I think it's Crosby.
So with that being said, that you maybe sell your Ovechkin to get 2 Crosbys. Could be a possibility there.
Yeah, I think it's probably time to. I don't want this to be disrespect on Alex Ovechkin, who's an incredible player and absolutely has done everything, as we saw it. It just snuck up on us how great the career was. But yeah, it's probably time to sell your Alex Ovechkin cards, and you could see all the sales that we put up there. If for those listening at home. All three of these are three of his biggest sales. These are the three biggest sales of the last year, and they've all happened literally in the last 2-3 months. This is all very, very
SP Authentic
recent.
is crazy.
Yeah, SP Authentic, BGS 9510.
I feel like that 12-13 Prism, we couldn't give away at some point.
Yeah, we couldn't have.
1213 Prism, BGS 95 first, and it's 14,640 for a gold.
And that's the only one that's not a rookie card that you're showing.
That's
which is
pretty
crazy.
nuts. It's actually the highest sale is the one that's not a rookie. Is that Prism, a year of hockey Prism?
Well, what's crazy too is that you look at assists from Wayne Gretzky, 1,963 assists. Second would be Ron Francis at 1,249.
Yeah,
It's nuts.
He had 700
nuts.
more than the next guy. That's an insane stat. And he obviously just got beat in the goal record, but the amount, nobody's going to ever beat him in assists.
No,
Never.
assists. I mean, even points. I think Jaromir Jagr, who again played till he was in his 50s, basically, is second, and he's still
900.
900 away from Gretzky. It's absolutely nuts. So, this is both illuminated what an impressive career Alex Ovechkin has had.
How many games did Gretzky play?
894.
Yeah.
And how many points did he have?
2,857.
So he had 3 points a game.
Insane.
He had 3 points a game.
Yeah.
He
3 points a game.
averaged his career. He averaged 3 points a game.
Yep.
It's insane.
He was good. He was pretty good. That Wayne Gretzky. He was a good player.
What's PPG stand for?
Points per game?
Oh, power play.
Or power
goals.
play
Power
goals.
play
Excuse me.
goals.
not
Oh,
points per
wow.
game.
So Alex Ovechkin,
power play goals.
325 power play goals.
Yep.
He's beating the next guy by 50.
That's very impressive.
Which is Dave Vanderchuk, followed by Brett Hull.
Almost half of his goals were on the power play.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
It's pretty good. That's
What's
pretty awesome.
SHG? What does that stand
Shorthanded.
Shorthanded.
Wayne Gretzky, 73,
Not
is
bad.
the all-time leader
Who's
there.
number 2?
Damn.
Mark Messier.
Oh,
And Stevie Y is
Both-
third.
That's a
Mario
good trio
Lemieux
right there.
fourth on the shorthanded goals.
well,
Looking,
you got to play on the penalty kill for that to happen too, though.
but I was gonna say that you appreciate what Ovechkin has done, but it also then has made me really appreciate what Wayne Gretzky did too. It's like, God, there's still like, oh, what are all the other records? Oh, they're all owned by Wayne Gretzky. Like, he's got, trust me, he can
Not
spare
all of them.
He can give one of those records away. It's okay.
Not most games played.
Not most games played. That is true.
That is
true.
owned by a shark.
That is right.
That's right.
You better
Gordie
believe
House, second on that list. And
Better
then Mark
believe it.
Messier.
Nobody's played more games than Patty Marlowe.
Better believe it.
Only 566
Nobody
goals.
has laced them
The
up
wily vet.
more than
Patty.
Patty Marlowe.
We love Patty.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I was seeing an argument. I think it was PK Subban was on ESPN, and he was like, "I already think Austin Matthews is going to break the record." Like, I actually
of
think
most games played.
no, most goals.
Oh,
It's like I already think we're. He's like, I think we're watching the next guy right now. So I'm like, that is wild. But to his point, he was saying he has scored over 60 goals twice in a season already. And he's 27 years old. He's at 398 goals for his career at 27.
yeah. I mean,
That's a good pace.
we very well could.
398 goals.
398 goals and
McDavid has 361.
361. So we are, and I mean, yeah, that's basically the next pairing that are Matthews and McDavid are going to be paired up for many, many years. It's the two stars, the two faces of their generation. So,
Leon Draisaitl has one more than Matthews, but I think
you
he's been playing longer,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, been playing a little longer. So that's something interesting.
I
And
want
of
to
course,
say he might have been the same year as.
2014.
Oh, okay.
So exciting stuff. I mean, also, would you rather have, you could throw Connor McDavid in there, would you rather have Connor McDavid's young gun
right?
compared to Crosby and Ovechkin?
I still, because it's funny, because I bet McDavid is probably outselling both of them.
I don't think so.
Is he not? Okay. Crosby is still number one there,
Let's see.
which feels right. Crosby should be number one in that list.
I think McDavid needs to get a
Right.
to get a cup.
Which is why I would be like, it's pretty much, it's Sidney Crosby.
It's about a 2,800 to 3K card, so it's
Okay.
on par with Crosby. It's just Ovechkin's now taking that lead
Right.
because of what's happening.
Right. I still would
Also
say
gotta-
Crosby.
I also feel like the Ovechkin and Crosby, the print run had to be smaller than the McDavid.
We're shorting Crosby a cup, by the way. Three-time cup.
Three-time.
I thought so. I was like,
Three
very-
times?
Yeah, 3 times.
I know one of them. I remember
Yeah,
one of them.
one of them I remember.
Yeah, we do remember one of them, don't we? That was the third. Yeah, I think that's why we all said 2. We just kind of erased that
Yeah,
third one
might
out
have.
of our memory banks.
Oh, yeah, 2009, 2016, and 2017. They went back to back.
That's right. They went back to back.
But yeah, also you have that gold medal too, which it's not like basketball where there's so many big names get a medal, right? Like Kevin Durant has like 4 or something like that, right? I think with hockey, it's not as easy to have a medal and have a Stanley Cup as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did Gretzky have a medal?
I would have to,
I'm assuming he did.
I'd have to double check that. Hockey guys, I'm sorry, everyone's the hockey audience is screaming right now. No, they weren't doing.
No, he said, I helped Team
I was
Canada
saying,
win
yeah.
gold at Canada Cup tournaments.
Yeah, they weren't doing
He didn't win.
that
He didn't win like a junior, didn't he? Like a.
Oh well, yeah, you could do that. That's true. I was saying they didn't have it. They didn't have pro players playing yet.
Pretty sure
during
he
his
has
era.
something that resembles a gold medal in his trophy case.
Well, it says Gretzky served as executive director
Right.
to Team
Right.
Canada Olympic hockey team, which
Got
won a
one.
gold medal in 2002.
Right. Yeah.
But I think you're right, though, but I think Sidney Crosby won the gold medal prior to his NHL career, correct?
Definitely won one during his career, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won it during his career.
2 Olympic gold medals, yeah. 2010 in Vancouver and
Yep.
2014 in Sochi.
Yeah. So yeah, they were both during his career. Yeah, because at that point, NHL players are playing, but
U.S. didn't win those years, huh?
no, they did not. And Canada usually wins a lot of those, so they're good at
Canada.
hockey. Canada, famously good at hockey
So, yeah, we've got 2.
And curling.
and curling.
We've got 2 Ovechkin PSA 10, so we're deciding if we.
Yeah.
Now is the time to sell maybe one of those.
That's
bad
what
boys.
this was. This was an exercise of, is it time? I think it's time. It's definitely time. And it's also like
Yeah, we've
Capitals-
said this about
Capitals are-
Ohtani as well.
This is a little different. Alex Ovechkin's going to be 40 next year. And the Capitals.
At some point, Ohtani's going to be 40
Well,
as well.
yeah, but not next year.
Well, the thing with the Ovechkin, so there's about, I think I want to say there's about 1,300 PSA 10s, and I can't imagine more of them getting graded. So
No.
it's probably a pretty safe number. So,
right.
you're going to see a lot of them gobbled up right now, maybe being PCs forever. So I don't know if it goes up beyond this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like right now is the time.
The only thing you can hang on to is because the Capitals are going to be the best team in the East. They could be the best. They could be the President's
Could win
Trophy.
another cup.
Can
Yep.
they win another cup? And does that? And I think a combination of cup plus breaking the record in the same year is enough to lift that card up in a few months. But how much more does it go up if he gets another Stanley Cup? I guess is the
And he's only won one,
Right.
so in 2018.
right. But the legacy is pretty much solidified. If he wins another one, I feel like it's icing on the cake, but who knows? It could be enough of a substantial jump that it might be worth it to hang on until June.
If you guys have some Ovechkins, is it time to sell or is it time to buy? I'd like to know your guys' comments on any one of our social media posts. And I think that's pretty much it for the hype today, guys. Check out the breaks, Mojobreak.com. Check out the deals at MojobreakShop.com on your wax. And we'll see you guys next week on the hype. Peace.